It provides for a means to amend the Constitution of the United States. The founders knew that their work, like any human work, would be incomplete and imperfect and needed to provide for things in the future that they had no idea themselves of what might come, so that they realized the Constitution would need to be amended from time to time in the future. And they provided two means by which to do that. One was if Congress themselves, on a vote of 2/3 of Congress, they could propose amendments. Those amendments would then go out to, and if 38 states approved those amendments, they would become part of the Constitution as if it was part of the original document. But they also put in a second means of amending the Constitution. Great foresight and great wisdom. They felt that if the federal government should at some time in the future become obtuse and tone deaf to the needs of the country, they empowered the state legislatures, us, and you as citizens. They provided to us the means to circumvent a tone-deaf federal government or an out-of-control federal government and propose amendments ourselves to the Constitution. That is what this resolution seeks to do. It proposes a convention of states to be convened to propose amendments to the Constitution. Now, how does that work? Given the numbers we have today of 50 states, if 2/3 or 34 of our states in the Union pass a resolution on the same subject matter calling for a convention of states, Congress has a duty then. Congress shall call a convention of states. Congress determines the date and the location. The states then convene themselves. The states will debate proposed amendments. They will vote on proposed amendments. If by a simple majority a proposed amendment passes that convention of states, it is then sent out to the 50 states, just like the congressional path. If 38 of those 50 states approve of the proposed amendments, then it becomes part of the Constitution as if it was part of the original document. There are several safeguards there that I want to point out to you. First of all, you got to have 34 states agree on common language to call the convention in the first place. And that limits the subject matter that the convention can take up. The subject matter is determined by the resolutions passed by the states. Currently, 15 states have passed a similar resolution to provide the opportunity to propose amendments in 3 subject matter areas that I'll let Representative Hardister explain to you a little later. 15 states have passed the same resolution. It is now before North Carolina. It's our opportunity to become the 16th state. Back to the proposing of amendments in a convention of states. If 26, just simple majority of the states approve an amendment, it has to be approved by 26 different states. Then it goes out to the 50 states. You have to get 38 states to agree on an amendment. 38 states. You know, in the United States, currently we have 99 state legislatures, 99 separate state legislatures. There's 49 state legislatures that are bicameral. They have a House and they have a Senate. And then you got poor old Nebraska out there all by its lonely that has a unicameral, single body legislature. So there's 99 different state legislatures that will get a peek at any proposed amendments. Let's say worst case scenario, something really wild comes out of this convention of states, which I do not think is possible. But just for the sake of argument and to answer probably some criticisms that might come forth from the committee, all it takes is either the House or the Senate from 13 different states to say no, and that amendment dies. 4 quick points I want to leave with you. First is, this is constitutional. It is organic and inherent in the Constitution. There's nothing new here. Secondly, if you had a drug-addled child, you as a family would intervene on that child's life, in that child's life, to impose some discipline on them. You wouldn't just let them run amok to their own demise and that of others. Well, think of the Convention of States as an intervention of the states. We have a drug-addled federal government. It is addicted to spending more money than it takes in. It is obviously not going to control itself, Republican or Democrat. That control must come from outside of Washington, D.C. As legislators, we have been given the ability to rein in the federal government. we have been given the ability to intervene in the future of our country. And lastly, as you'll see here in the committee in just a moment, and as I've experienced in conversations with many of my colleagues and citizens, I would support this initiative even if I thought it was going to fail and had no chance of doing anything good. I don't believe that for a minute. We can become state 16. That's almost halfway to the 34. But even if I believed it wouldn't, here's the kicker. This elicits conversations that are critical to our nation on federalism, the 9th and 10th Amendments, the separation of powers, the checks and balances. We get back to a national civics lesson and a national civics conversation that is long overdue. Thank you.
I'm here live in Philadelphia at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. When you hear the phrase lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, these are the folks we should think of, those who anonymously gave their lives. Well, today you have a chance to volunteer. You need to volunteer for conventionofstates.com, the movement that's going to save the country. These folks are willing to step up and give everything. We need you to give just a little bit. Go to conventionofstates.com and volunteer today.